Nile Dacres, 3 games under your belt, back in action after 18 months out. How have you slipped back into the swing of things?
Well, I think I've slipped in pretty seamlessly. Been training a lot leading up to getting back on the pitch. So when I made my first appearance back against Bedford a few weeks ago, towards the end of the game, it probably trained harder, had some more grueling experiences in training for my rehab. So it's good to be back. Got 80 minutes under my belt against Jersey last week, and looking forward to just carrying on.
Just when you're on the bench for that first game back, what nerves are there starting to come through the system, or is it a case? In other words, is it easier to come off the bench on a comeback or to start?
No, I definitely think it would have been easier to start. I think on the bench you watch the boys play, and then you got longer things going on in your head, like, oh, when am I going to come on? How's the game going? Keeping an eye on if anyone's going down and all that. I think when you're starting, you know you're there, you know what's happening, and then you just get chucked straight into it. And
it was a nice ovation from the crowd when you came off the bench as well.
Yeah, it was. It's been a long time, so it's glad to see that I haven't been completely forgotten. But it's great to get back out there in front of the fans, who are always great.
Bit of a baptism of fire as well, coming off the bench against Bedford. They were coming back into that. The game was in the balance, and then Ealing was a tough one, and Jersey away, as you say, 80 minutes in were changeable and difficult conditions down there.
Yeah, particularly like in Jersey, the weather wasn't in anyone's favour really, but we battled it out. Didn't quite get the result we wanted, so hopefully we'll be looking to correct a few mistakes on our part for this weekend and get a W under our belt.
You get a couple of days to reflect on that win. If there's a couple of takeaways from that game against Jersey, what would they be?
Well, I think just being clinical in the scoring zone, sort of in their third. I think we probably could have come away with more points in that area, just respecting the ball a bit. So definitely going to be looking this weekend to keep the pressure on, keep the ball, and come away with points when we get into their 22.
Yeah, that driving maul, worked really well twice, getting up to the line, and then those tries not getting awarded. We spoke to Roland and Rory after the game, and the first one in particular, the disallowed one for the double movement, seemed to be a turning point and very frustrating. Yeah,
I mean, we got into that area. You could say we thought we scored it. Don't know if even some of their guys might have thought we scored it, but then we've got to make it clear and obvious so the referee doesn't come into the equation. So we'll just be, rather than saying, oh, it could have been awarded, say, well, what could we have done so that question doesn't get asked, and it's just a clear and blatant try.
And finally, just looking ahead to Bedford this weekend, it's going to be a different Bedford team that rocks up compared to the one 3 weeks ago in terms of, attitude and approach in the different competition.
Well, I think, we're into the league now. Obviously, last time we played it was in the cup, but also we've had a couple of weeks of competitive rugby under our belts. So we'll be preparing, getting due diligence on them, and looking at them, giving them the respect they deserve, but also trying to impose our game best we can and get that win.